You have to do the hard work. You have to do the homework. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel where it's all about stepping up. In part 1, you got to hear from Jon Pearson during his times with Lifeline and some of the tips that could possibly help you out down the track. So as we continue on in part 2, we'll get to hear from Jon as he shares more about mind, body and soul. So without further ado, let's dive back into the show. So it does kind of require the practice to learn these structures of effective communication.
Yes. And it's kind of easier with people you don't know so well, in a way, like just so I could say talking to a guy at Mike's Mission Lifeline phone, it's sort of like, so how are you feeling when that happened? So what was going on for you there? I'm getting a feeling that you needed something going. So that sort of conversation is a bit easier because you're not such a big buy-in. But when you go to your intimate relationships or your spouse sort of stuff, you're all in. I mean, that's all in. That's really powerful, because it's like, if you don't love me, shit, I got nothing. And so you're really vulnerable. So it's really hard to not just flare up, because it's so automatic. It's like taught to us. We see it all the time. It's like autopilot. But wind yourself back in and, kind of say, okay, we just flared up. The monkeys started throwing spanners at each other. Unkind words were said. And the monkeys, exhausted, they're run out of spanners. Might be 2 hours later, might be the next day, when everyone's calmed down and the humans are back in the room. Then the humans can start going, okay, this happened, I saw that. What was I feeling? Okay, what were you feeling when you saw me walk through the door? Okay, what was I feeling? I was feeling this. Start that communication. What were you needing? A text, yes. That would be so easy, wouldn't it? Yes. And I didn't give you that text, and that would have been, yeah. I just had to sit in the car and just go, man, and it just, I was such a hurry to get home because I didn't, but I'm sorry. I'll try better next time.
So really, it's just about taking those small steps of...
Yeah, learning it, practicing it, being okay with, we're not going to dance really nicely when we argue, or it's going to be pretty heated, but we're going to we're both committed to this relationship working as best it can, and we don't want to argue. It doesn't feel nice, so let's try a different way of communicating that's going to answer our feelings and our needs, and we're both going to feel okay, feel more loving, and communicate from our hearts rather than from the monkeys throwing spanners at each other because they're frustrated and angry. But that's communication. So that's really crucial to me, that we communicate, because that's one thing. I can give you other stuff. There's the communication. Mind, body and spirit. Heard those 3 words ever used? They have an ancient history like anything. Mind, body and spirit. Mind, we kind of got a mental health thing going here, don't we? Body, the mind and the body are connected. Some people feel really yucky when they eat 15 donuts. They might actually not only feel yucky in the guts, but also yucky in the head, their mental health. Some people know that if I eat the wrong sorts of food, my mental health suffers. It has a ongoing effect. I mean, you might have heard of the gut biome sort of stuff, and how if your gut biome is tilted from what humans really should be eating, and you've got a diet which isn't exactly helpful, and your gut biome is skewed in a certain direction, then it can send signals to want more of that, and it sends you down the path of mentally not being okay. So, what you feed yourself is important for your mental health. So the body, isn't it? The body, you're walking around in this body, and it's connected to your mind, and your mind's connected to it. So watch what you feed it. Because I remember, like in a jail, I think in America, they did a study where they actually, for a period of time, they really concentrated on only providing real high quality food, and not, a lot of processed food. Get rid of the junk food, get rid of the crappy food, and they noticed that with the good food, the number of violent incidences went down dramatically. And also, when an inmate was released, they were in a much calmer headspace. But if that inmate returned back to, I'll just say, a junky food diet, a lot of their old material started reoccurring. So, and I hopefully it's okay to say that, you are what you eat. And if you don't eat what humans were designed to eat, then there can be consequences. So that's body, look after it, as it were. The mind, yes. The mind. Who's in control of that? Who's holding the steering wheel? You know how I just said before, the monkey mind? I could say, depends on your labels that you like. Your ego, your monkey mind, your left brain. You're at your steering wheel, where you're going, is at the whim of the grasping, wanting monkey, who gets all angry and frustrated if he can't have what he wants, or he or she wants, of course. And the emotions that flow with that thinking just whisk you away into a tantrum. So you're not in control of your thoughts. Where do they appear? They just come out of the blue, do they? You're just always thinking, radio, non-stop clutter in your head. And the emotions that go with it, they're just, are you at the whim of them, or are you in control? And that idea of meditation is a really powerful thing, because that's the whole idea of it. So you are actually holding the steering wheel of your life, and you're not being driven down tracks of thought processes that are a lot of rubbish that you don't want to think, but they just pop up because you get what you thought about before. It's repetitive, sort of radio non-stop noise. And then the emotions that go with it. So you walk around angry and frustrated and mean and nasty and never smiling at anyone. So, a bit of meditation gets a grip on the mind. So it's not, so who's in control? And, just to put a bit of concrete on it, I guess, it doesn't matter what meditation process you use, but the idea is, the Zen Buddhists sort of would say, your thoughts and your emotions are like passing clouds. They come and they go. Sometimes it's stormy, sometimes it's not, but the blue sky is always above it. There's always blue sky. The observing mind, as it were, the observer, who can see it, and that's the one that should be in control. The one that's driven by kindness and compassion and love, and doing a meaningful life, living that meaningful life, and not hating their job, or hating their relationships, or hating the driver who just cut them off, or the slow checkout person who can't scan their groceries fast enough. So that's mind. Should we do spirit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Spirit. So mind, body and spirit. Now that is quite something to to go to. How how can we approach that? Shall we go boots and all? Dave Chalmers said the hard problem was consciousness. We are conscious. We're aware. We're aware of our thoughts and we're aware of our feelings. We're aware. And when I talk to you, Tar, there's an energy flowing between us, and we're aware of that energy flowing between us. And we can feel each other, the way we're responding to each other. There's an energy flow. So spirit is, it's, I don't want to get caught up in calling it a religion, you know, because there's wars being fought over who had the right religion and who had the wrong religion. But that underlying spiritual energy and love is a flow of energy.
Yeah, I feel it's a powerful force that, as you mentioned earlier, that energy it's amazing feeling.
Yes.
I'd say that
Yeah.
goes along the lines of a spiritual connection.
Yes. Are you okay with your soul? Do you have a sense of anything like that? That's something special about you.
I feel I do. I feel I'm always wanting to improve each day.
The purpose, you serve the planet, you know, you serve the universe. You're part of the universe, and your small part is important. And when you fight your purpose, perhaps that's when you get sick, or you get mentally signposts telling you that you're in the wrong direction. You know, the sign that says anxious, depressed, sad. It's a signpost saying you're heading the wrong direction. Maybe you're involved in something which doesn't suit your heart, doesn't serve you well, and doesn't meet your soul's wish to give to the planet. That's sort of it's quite expansive, but we've lost connection with ourselves like that spirit part of ourselves as being part of the all.
Yeah, and it's not exactly like we knew how to find, certain lessons that could help us out because, as you mentioned earlier, with the culture, unfortunately, some things have been left out or just weren't aware of.
Yes, you know how you got Cook Island culture? There would be an aspect that the Cook Islands have been influenced for quite a number of generations, and it's unkind of me to say this, but I think that the English who shipped out whalers and gosh only knows what, trying to exploit the world for what it could get, has generationally influenced cultures that were far more connected to the planet, to the land, to the understanding of spirit, that even like the Cook Island cultures, generationally speaking, has lost so much of what might have been in the past. You know, you could say males in the Cook Islands are tough and, don't take any nonsense.
Well, for us trying to understand mental health, we were only limited. Our beliefs of it were, they're just idiots in these certain institutes that we, leave them alone. We don't want to get involved with them until it actually happened to a dear friend of mine who was hospitalized. Kind of, gave me a different perspective of seeing like, wow, that's like, it really just impacts anyone.
Yes.
And unfortunately, if you don't have control of your own thoughts, whatever's going through your mind, it's a uphill battle.
Yes, it's that's why I sort of say mind, body, spirit. Like what you eat is important. what you think, who's in control of the mind is important. And have we lost connection to our spirit part of us that is part of the whole? And it's like we're so caught up in wanting and grasping and wanting things, but all these things aren't making us happy. We could be numbing ourselves with heaps of social media, so that way I don't have to be in my quiet because I keep scrolling. Or we could be gym junkies, so we're always working out so we don't have to be in the silence. Or we could be workaholics, so we got 3 jobs and we're making money and we tell ourselves that's great because look at the fancy new car I could buy and I'm going to get an investment property next year, or I'm actually going to fly over to somewhere else and have a really good holiday. So we keep ourselves occupied with getting things, getting status, getting stuff that we really don't want or need in a way, just so that we don't be quiet with ourselves when we'd have to look and feel that we're not satisfied because we don't feel like we're respecting our purpose or our direction that we were put on the planet to do. We keep thinking life's about us, me, I generation, where perhaps it's more about what you give in life than what you take.
Well, yeah, no, that's some powerful stuff there, John. And hopefully for our listeners to really take that on board. It really is, we only have this current time that we're on this beautiful planet.
Yes.
And to find your purpose, it's always, for me personally, just to continue to work on myself is something that I enjoy the most each day.
Yes.
I'm hoping that I'm improving 1% more.
And that's very similar to me too. Like we both have that same wish. We work on ourselves, and then when we meet someone else, we might be someone they go, oh, I like what's happening with you. What have you been doing? I wouldn't mind, getting a bit of a rub off here because I like something about you. I like hanging out with you. And I'm going to steal a few things if you don't mind, modify them and incorporate them in me, because I got stuff that I think's pretty shitty that I've been doing. I'm going to dump that.
Hey guys, if you're finding value in today's show, please subscribe and hit the like button, as it helps us to grow and also to reach out to other individuals and communities where we get to hear their stories that could possibly relate to you in helping you find your way in navigating your mental states. So let's get back to the show. Yeah, and that's, look, I mean, doing a podcast like this is about sharing it for free. The first steps to making one change,
Yes.
at least,
Yes.
is at least the step in the right direction.
And it's a choiceless choice in a way. You don't get to choose to be shitty. You have to be nice, let's say. You don't get to choose to piss everyone off that you come across. You have to choose to be kind. You have to choose, even though it's free will, you don't really get a choice in the matter, because it's not going to serve you or the planet or anyone else very well if you keep operating out of pain, anger, fear, or lying and deceit. It doesn't serve you at the end of the day because no one wants to know you. But I'm not saying what I'm talking about is easier to do either, but it does begin with each little step in the right direction. And there can be a lot of dark days of the soul, if I could use that terminology, a dark night of the soul where you really have to face some yucky things about yourself and choose not to repeat. Choose to see if you can heal some of the damage that you might have done along the way. If you can, forgive, let go, and then the present moment, choose to operate from kindness. I mean, that, you know how I talked about the spiritual side of things, like, one very famous Eckhart Tolle,
Yeah, yeah.
Power of Now, and practicing the power of now. There's a spiritual teacher. Like, he will tell you how he sat in a park wanting to die. He was sitting, it's been a while since I read it, but sitting there wanting to die. And in that moment, call it whatever you will, awakening, dark night of the soul, whatever you want to call it, something shifted in him and set him on that path. And he was able to reconnect with himself, his spirit. He did a lot of work. It didn't just happen overnight. But there's a person you can have a read of, and YouTube and Google, and I mean, good stuff comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, that book actually helped me to quit smoking, to be honest. It was a
Yes.
turning point for me when
Yes.
I read that book. I went, wow. I'd highly recommend anyone
Yes.
if you get the opportunity to get that book.
Yep. Thich Nhat Hanh and Plum Village, amazing man. Another, there's heaps of them out there that have gone before us to sort of lay the crumbs out. All that we've got to do is pick them up slowly and follow that path. Choiceless choice, because it will feel a heap better.
Nice. That's absolutely worth looking into for everyone that's listening. The hardest part might be the reading, to really get into that rhythm of reading. But once you start down that track,
Yes.
a lot of doors start to
Yes.
open up.
And also find your tribe. Like, find people that are going to lift you, not people that are going to continue your cycle of staying down. You could say to yourself, I need a better friend. And you might join Marcus Mission. But there's a whole you might join a men's shed. Just where people hang out that have that mind of giving, caring. Join the local surf club. Join anything. Join a fishing club.
Or even joining like some volunteering services.
Wow. Now there is an awesome idea, Tar. The best way to help yourself is to go help someone else. There's plenty of, serving out plates for others.
That's exactly how I first started.
There you go, yes. Yeah. So it works, hey? It
Absolutely.
Really does. Yeah.
Okay, then, so is there anything that you would like to, or you've thought about as something that could possibly be used as a tool, or, to help others out? Like, do they journal, or,
Journaling's good, yes.
Okay.
Write your thoughts out, awesome. If that works for you, great. Affirmations, great. There are so many good ideas out there. You just have to do the hard work. You have to do the homework. No one else can do your homework for you. It's your life, your choice. In many respects, yeah. Like, we're working on ourselves, and then if you like something over here, steal it from us. Talk to us about it. That's why it's good to find your tribe, shall we say, colloquial term. But people that you look up to, admire. Find someone who you admire. Like, we talked to Eckhart Tolle. Da-da. Perfect. I've talked to Marshall Rosenberg, Sue Johnson. Wow, they've done some research. TED Talks. I mean, this is... you know how we have social media and it's bad because it tracks you with AI and all this sort of stuff? Well, if you actually start putting some good stuff into that search engine, it might only ever give you how to communicate non-violently, so that it'll give you another person to listen to about, or another Eckhart Tolle. It'll give you, and then, join just get it. Yes, it's hard. It can be really hard to walk around the corner and through a door that you've never been through before. Really hard. Like at Marcus Mission, we'll have guys, they might sit in their car for 45 minutes before they're even able to get out of the door and perhaps come around the corner. And even that act is like going to be so scary. I don't think there's any guy that walked around the corner who said, I made the wrong decision to get out of my car and walk around the corner, even though I sat in it for 45 minutes and pumped myself up to do it. Have hope, have faith, because that's something that we often lose, is faith and hope. And but there is a life force in us that wants to give, to love, give and receive.
Okay. So we're getting close to winding down. Any final thoughts?
It's been awesome to share time with you, Tar. It's so much, like, I love you so much. It's just, you're a wonderful guy, and what you're doing to help, you know, it's, whenever I meet you and we have a chat, it's just awesome. So, yeah, it's so great to share with like-minded people, you know, like we're on the path together, and it uplifts me because it helps me also to say yes.
Yeah, it uplifts me too when I get to catch up with dear friends and get that spark reignited again to flame up a bit more again.
Yeah, keep going, Yeah, keep pushing it.
Because don't get me wrong, I like doing these podcasts. It's nerve-wracking.
Yep.
But I still keep wanting to.
Yeah.
You know, I stick by my why.
Yes.
You know, I want to get that message out so other men can see.
Yes.
Like, you know, I might be from the Cook Islands, but I'm willing to do something out of my comfort zone that hopefully others can go, look, this guy, he's having a crack at it. And you know, everything along the way has kind of probably fallen into place to step up to the plate and finally, like, hey, whatever little part I can give back to the universe.
Yes, well done, yes. And it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
When you flow with life, flow with love, flow with the universe kind of, you're working with me, here, next. Yeah, when you're working against, no, don't do that. Don't go that direction, come back this way.
Well, it's been really great having you on today's show, John. I truly am honoured and grateful for you showing up today because, like, for you to drive all the way up from the Sunshine Coast, truly honoured and grateful.
We can do it again whenever you like.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Like. Appreciate that.
Hey, if your listeners, you know, comments, want to hear something, you know.
Yeah, cool.
Sure.
If you guys have any questions that you'd like to know further,
we can explore them.
And Marcus Missions is also, I could add that in the details on today's show as well as one of the but just quickly, like, what if someone was thinking about wanting to volunteer, say, like at Lifeline? What was, like, could you just quickly?
Oh, look, if you wanted to join Lifeline and have a, you know, go through the learning curve, just pick up the phone and ring them. Oh, sorry. Now, I just looked up the phone book. This is way back when, and the office was in Maroochydore, and they had not the 1300 number, but just a regular phone number for the office of Lifeline. And so I just rang the normal office number and said, hey, I'm interested in doing the course. When's it happening? Well, I was in Maroochydore, so that was where I got trained. So,
So that's what you would do? Just give them a
ring
call?
them up. And it doesn't just have to be Lifeline, does it? You know, like there are so many groups that will also, like Marcus Mission does some training stuff as well. Like, you know, there's so many that do. But I must admit that for me, Lifeline was just amazing. Like, I'm incredibly grateful. It was a washing machine for your brain to handle, but so many honest, caring conversations of just no one lies. and you don't lie back either. If you don't understand, if you go, I don't know, you just say, I'm just totally speechless. So we say, but yeah, cool.
Cool. Oh, John, thank you again for today's show. And also, please leave a comment down below if you've got anything you want to say or you want to know. We'll try and get it out to you. And please subscribe to the channel. Help this channel to grow so we can, build a community that want to share the message. And if you'd like to join the podcast On the Road with Tar, then yeah,
send him a text. Somehow communicate with him. He'll come and talk to you.
Yeah, we got this. We'll sort something out.
Yes, good on you, mate.
Okay, John. Thanks
Cheers.
again.
Good on you.
Love you, man.
Yeah, love you, mate.